So let's start sitting. I should say start off sitting, although we're also starting sitting. So come into an easy cross-legged pose of Sukhasana. Make sure that your sit bones have got some connection with the floor. Lift your elbows, which lifts your shoulders, and then put your elbows down. So just taking your attention to your elbows, moving from there, rather than worrying about your shoulders, and then that'll happen. The elbows down. And when you put your elbows down, push them right down as if you were trying to touch them to the floor. And notice what that does across your collarbones. So sitting up tall so that you feel that stretch in the right places. And then release, come to neutral, and then lift those elbows up again. So see if you can get them coming up straight. Hands are just relaxed on your knees. Take them a little higher. Can you take them a little higher? Squeeze up as if you're now bringing your shoulders in towards your neck, giving your neck a bit of a squeeze, and then back down again. Come to a neutral position with those elbows. This time, we're going to work on the neck a little. So let's take the chin to chest. Keep that length in your back. And really squeeze, trying to get your chin onto your chest without moving your chest to meet your chin. All the movement is in your neck. And taking in some nice deep breaths while you're here. As you breathe in, notice if your chest comes up naturally to meet that chin of yours. And as you breathe out, see if you can round the neck a little more to take the chin closer to your chest as your chest moves away as the air leaves your torso. And keeping that chin still tucked in, notice the back of your neck. Feel where the stretch is. Do you feel that it's even? Have you got more tension on one side than the other? And try and bring a little ease into this movement. So stop forcing, just let the weight of your head gently pull on those muscles and encourage them to release, to relax. And notice if you can feel that stretch down around your shoulder blades. And again, same on both sides, or a little different on one side to the other. And then maybe down even into your mid-back. Notice how far down you can feel that stretch. Those muscles stretch all the way down from where your skull connects to your spine, your atlas and axis, all the way down, right down either side of your spine. You see where you can feel that stretch. And then we're going to come out, but we're going to come out very gently, lifting the head, sending the nose forward. Strong stretch. So you want to be very gentle, come out slowly, and especially with the neck. We're always really gentle with the neck. And then let's carry that movement on, taking the chin up towards the ceiling. So letting the back of your head come to rest on top of your back. And jutting your chin up and forward. Lots of bugs around at the moment, as we know. So this movement around the neck helps move things around. If you're fighting something, it helps bring blood flow to the area. And sending the chin up as tightly as you can, up to the ceiling. So the tightness will be a sensation in the front of your throat, in those two long muscles either side of your neck. Really stretch. You might be able to feel it against your voice box. You might be able to feel some sensation around your thyroid. All good. You're bringing blood flow to that area. You're increasing your lymphatic drainage. This is if there's a battle going on, you're bringing supplies to the battleground. Ah, good. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Release and stretch, release and stretch if it's too intense for you. And then let's come back to center. And let's take the right ear to the right shoulder. Again, stretching, noticing here. This is where we want to be feeling this stretch. Lovely, just almost a delicious stretch down the side of your neck here. And little movements, so tilting the head gently forward as you bring your nose down towards your knee, and then you'll notice where that changes. Keeping the pressure on, keeping that stretch, but just changing so that you're moving more muscles further in the back that may have just been sitting there doing nothing much. And then the same, lifting your nose up. And then that brings that stretch right down into the front. You might feel that pulling on your collarbone, keeping the shoulder steady, keeping your back straight and lifted. And always remembering to breathe. And come back slowly, very slowly. Intense stretch, so slowly in, slowly out. And let's go over to the other side. It's the same thing. And again, enjoy that stretch, maybe dropping the shoulder a little. Feeling where you need to be making this movement. So we're all doing the same movement, but there's little tiny changes, tilting the head backwards and forwards. Be guided by what feels good, by where you feel you need to stretch. And take a deep breath. And gently, slowly back up to center. Okay, one more time, chin to chest. Notice how that feels different. Maybe you're going a little deeper now. And bringing the head all the way back up. There we go. Just close your eyes here. Let's take a few breaths together. Notice your breath, the pace, the depth. And let's slow the breath down together. Let's do some counted breaths. So we'll do something called a box breath. And if you're a very visual person, this will be something maybe that you'll like. You imagine in your mind as you breathe in that you're starting, let's start this way. You're starting up here and you take a breath in. You're drawing the top line of your box. As you breathe in, that's the side of your box. Oops, breathe out, sorry. And then as you breathe in again, that's the bottom of your box. And as you breathe out, you come back to point A where you started out. So your breath is in, out, in, out. And we'll start off keeping it a box. So we'll keep the numbers even. And then we will make the out breath much longer. So we'll turn it into a rectangle. All right. So if that's helpful, imagine it. If it's not, then just follow on with the breathing. Don't let it worry you and bother you. We're still sitting up tall. And hopefully that's all right. If this is a position that is really not comfortable for you, find one that is comfortable. There's no point in sitting there uncomfortable. And I invite you to change the cross of your legs now. So sitting up tall, close your eyes, start off wherever it is you want to start off. And maybe you'll also track that movement with your eyes or your eyeballs with your eyes closed. And then let's start together. So breathing in through the nostrils. And breathing out through the mouth. In. Out. In. Out. In, out. Carry on your box journey and make the counting comfortable for you. So if we were going too fast, and then slow it down. Maybe it's a count of 4 or 3. And if that was too slow for you, then lengthen it a little. Keep going around and draw 3 boxes. There's probably a temptation to move into a longer out breath now. Try and just keep that control, keep that in and out breath the same, even if it doesn't feel quite right. Keeping that length in your spine, keeping the crown of the head lifted up as you continue on. Maybe this is your last box almost. Okay, let's now keep that same imaginary shape going, but we'll turn it into a rectangle. So your in breath stays the same, and the long out breath, just keep that going until you're ready to breathe in again. And then when you go up the other side, try and keep it even. So if you count the breath, just keep them the same number for all your in breaths and all your out breaths. So you might have 4, 6 or 4, 8. Go ahead and see what comes up for you and think about where that breath is going to. Take it right down into your belly as you breathe in. Really fill up under the arms, into your back, into the sides of your neck. Make it a big breath. And as you breathe out, slow that down. Really slowing down the out breath. Maybe even slightly purse your lips so that you're blowing out really slowly. Try as you breathe in to completely let go of all the muscles in your belly. And last round, go all the way around one more time. Well done. So that breath work when you start is incredibly important, and it's very easy to skip through and start moving on to the asanas. But you know, everything you do from now on in your practice, in your day, is going to be all the more effective from actually having breathed properly. And through your practice today, try and bring yourself back. Maybe not to box breath, but counting the breath and slowing down the breath. So let's come up to standing now. I'm going to come into a little bit of a Chandrasana sequence. So not a Surya Namaskar, but a Chandra Namaskar. So we're namaskaring the moon. So feet together, let's come into Tadasana. Under your hips, so heels under hips. Think about your pelvis. Where does it need to be? Are you tilting backwards and forwards? Just put it comfortably on top of those legs. Lifting your kneecaps slightly up. Keeping a little bit of a bend in the knee as well, so that you're not locking out the legs. And then bringing your shoulders forward and bringing them back so that we have a nice open chest. So we're going to start with hands pressing in together, chest level. And then we're going to breathe in. And a little bit of a back bend. So we want to come backwards, taking the arms behind so that your arms are level with your ears. Lift your chin again here. And we really want the heart center, the sternum to be lifting so that we're not compressing the lower back. So lifting here, sending the chest forward, and that whole movement moves into the back. So we're not bending just in the lower back. We're doing as much as we can with the whole of the back. And then coming into a forward fold first. Just a gentle forward fold here. We're slowing this right down so that we can just gently ease in, but also so that we allow the body a chance to wake up and allow those stretches to happen. And then we're going to come all the way back. So see if you can take the arms out, use the strength in your legs, coming all the way up. We're going to do a side bend here. So hands together. You can see my hands. I'm so terribly tall. Not. And then we're going to bend over to the right side. So then a bit of a side bend here. Keeping that length. Not tilting forward. Very tempting to sort of start looking at the floor. Try and keep that lovely stretch all the way down the left side. And back to center again, slowly. And we're going over to the other side. So as far as it's comfortable for you, thinking about making sure you're not sticking your bottom out, lifting those kneecaps, not locking the legs, so much to think about, and then come back up. We're going to go into one more forward fold. Thinking about getting lots of blood flow to the head and neck and throat today. So we're going to be adding in some nice forward bends. Think about what's going on in your lower back. Have you got a little more give here? Can you really let go? Can you let go any tension in the shoulders, in the face? Close your eyes. Noticing how that change in pressure in your head and face feels, whether it's a comfortable feeling, whether you can enjoy that sensation, or whether it's not so enjoyable and maybe we need to do it a little bit more then. And then we're going to come all the way up. We're going to use the strength in our legs again. Don't forget, we need a little bit of a bend. Keep your back straight, coming all the way up. And then bringing your hands back to center, taking your arms out to the side, take the feet out, coming into a star. Take your legs out a little further if you can. Keep your shoulders relaxed, arms level. Lifting your pelvic floor, tilting your pelvis slightly under. See if that brings a little bit of a stretch to the front of the hips and into the thighs. Lifting the chin, so we're staying in this nice starfish. And take a breath. I invite you here while you're in starfish to close your eyes and think about your intention for your practice, your sankalpa. What is it that you want for your practice today? And then we're going to come from here into goddess. A very powerful pose. We bend the elbows and at the same time bend the knees and bringing the body down towards ground. I don't know why this is so hard for me today. I hope you're finding it easier. So down a little bit further, and then let's make that a little bit of a mobile dynamic movement. So coming up, coming down, keeping the knees wide. Yeah. And then coming up just a little. Let's take the right heel off and really push into those toes. Those arms are strong. Think about bringing your elbows towards the back. So whatever you've got behind you. Mine's the radiator. So take your elbows towards whatever it is you've got behind you. So that opens up the chest. And then we're going to take that heel down and lift up the left heel. Notice how that changes. what muscles are working in your legs. Very subtle, but makes a difference. And then bringing that heel down, right heel up. Can you sink a little lower? Really challenge yourself. Hopefully you're warming up a little bit here. And swap heels, the left heel up. And we're going to take this down again. Come all the way down, 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 as far as you can go. And then let's stand up. Come back into starfish again. Breathe. Again, tuck your pelvis under, lift your pelvic floor. From here, we're coming into triangle. So take the right toes out towards the narrow end of your mat if they're not already. And then we're over to the side. So hand just comes in front of that leg, the right leg, left arm lifting up towards the ceiling. And if you can, if your neck will allow, looking up towards your left hand. So your drishti point here, your gaze point is the middle finger of your left hand, just the tip or just beyond the tip. There's a soft, unfocused gaze. And how are you doing with your breath? Are you managing to keep it slow and steady and even? Try not to lock the knee on your right leg. Can you sink a little lower? Without folding forward. So still keeping your body facing forward. And then we're going to lift. So somebody's holding that left hand and gently lifting you up and out. And we're going straight over to the other side. So lots of gentle work in the shoulders here. So left foot pointing out. So toes out towards the narrow end of your mat. And then we're going to just slip over, slide over, and come all the way down to triangle on the other side. And the same thing, if your neck will allow, looking up, otherwise look forward. Don't forget to breathe, think about your pelvic floor, lift everything if you can, squeezing the muscles that form that basket. And can you get a little bit more movement out of this? Bringing yourself a little further down towards the ground with the left hand. Well done, and let's lift out again now. So lifting up and coming out. We're staying with the legs wide because we're now going to take the right hand over to the left foot. So we're just twisting, folding, bringing the left hand down, finding your left foot, and find your left foot with your right arm, and left arm comes up. So a nice little bit of a twist in there, waking up intestines, getting a little bit of squishing going on in your torso, always helpful. And then we're going to come all the way up. Think about your knees here. Are they locked? If not, that's great. If they are, just gently unlock your knees and come all the way up and out using the strength in your feet here. And then we're going to move over into the other side. So left hand's coming towards the right foot. Ah, good. Got that right this time. Well done. Lifting up with the left hand. Aye, the right hand here, I spoke too soon. And breathe. So we're really breaking the sequence down, nice and slow, enjoying each asana, and allowing the body to settle in each asana. And then when you're ready, come all the way up, hands to hips, and we'll move into Prasarita Padottanasana. So we're sending the hips out behind, back straight, come halfway. Again, Think about those knees. It's very easy to lock the legs and then you don't have to do as much work. So we want to do the work. So bend your knees just slightly, wake up the legs. And then bringing yourself forward so that we can enjoy a little bit of being upside down. Take your hands behind you, clasp them together. So clasp your hands together behind your back, just resting on your lower back. Allow your head and neck to be completely just hanging out, relaxing, no tension there, just a weight. And then if you can, pushing your hands away and lifting them up towards the sky. Bringing the shoulder blades together, waking up the shoulder blades, giving the spine a bit of a massage there. Bringing the palms of your hands together if you can. And release, bring them back down. Bring them down to the ground. So your hands to the floor, to the mat, just below you, below your head and face. And then we're going to lift them all the way up. And we're keeping the legs wide just for the moment because we're going to come into a lunge. So let's turn the left foot forward and then bring the right knee down to the mat. Just down towards the mat, not actually on the mat. So nice and low with that knee. Think about squeezing your glutes, lifting the body up. Nice and tall. If you want to add on, you can take your arms up in the air. Otherwise, just have them on your hips. And just hold it here. And then take that knee down, release the feet. And we're going to stretch forward. Nice stretch on the right thigh, the right hip. Gentle, but still quite strong. And then tucking the toes under. This is the interesting bit. Taking that knee back off again, staying low. And then coming all the way back. Let's switch around. So we're doing a little bit of a warm up here because we're going to come into pigeon. So same thing on this side. Knee comes low but doesn't touch. Taking your arms up if you wish. And then taking the knee down, release the feet. And then if you can, if you need to, stretching forward just a little bit more. Really open up there. Wake up the hip. So waking up both of them. And then tucking the toes under, lifting the knee off. Maybe you want to bring your hands up, maybe they're on your knees, whatever works for you. And then all the way up, back into starfish. Walking the legs in, bringing the arms up into a little bit of a back bend. Sending the chin up to the ceiling. Coming all the way back up again, over to the right side. You might notice you've got more range of motion now. Or not. Back up to center. And over to the left. And then all the way back to the center. And hands back to heart center again. That's done. Let's come down to another lovely forward fold. So inhaling the arms up. Exhaling, fold, fold forward, fold all the way down. Take your hands to the mat this time. Take them down towards your toes. Allow your head and neck to hang. So think about where you are in this posture, and we'll come into Paschimottanasana, which is the seated version of this later on. So think about where you are. Think about how long your back and spine are right now. And that's the same movement we want when we're sitting. So quite a big ask for those muscles in the backs of our legs that are so used to being so strong and contracting all the time, to ask them to let go and stretch and release. So this is a little bit of a warm-up, and later on we'll come into Paschimottanasana. So this is Uttanasana, and we're going to come from here into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So downward facing dog, as it's better known really. So stretching the hands forward, taking the feet back, making space between your feet, but not too much. So your hips are probably not as wide as you think. And with your hands, make sure that they're pressed down into the mat. So the whole of your hand is active. It's not just your heel, the heel of your hand that's taking all the weight. You are pushing down with your knuckles, pushing down with your fingers gently, and lifting your shoulders away, but keeping space between your arms and your head. So don't allow your arms to come into contact with your head. We want the shoulders to be broad, but at the same time, we want the shoulders to be lifting away from our wrists. And our sit bones, we need to tilt those up towards the ceiling. You'll notice as soon as you do that, that the backs of your legs start screeching. That's great. That's why we're here. We want everything being worked and stretched and woken up and moved. So keeping the shoulders broad, keeping the head and neck completely relaxed. That's the one part of us that doesn't have to do anything in this asana. Head and neck just hang out and enjoy that lovely increased blood flow. Taking your heels down towards the mat, pushing them into the mat if they are on the mat, and keeping the knees gently unlocked. And now look forward to your hands. We've stayed there for quite a long time. Well done. Bring yourself forward into a plank. Jolly good. So in your plank, make sure that you are attempting to get a straight line from the back of your head to your heels. And we're holding this plank here now. Think about lifting your belly button up towards your spine. Think about lifting your pelvic floor as well. Keeping the shoulders broad. Lovely. Now we're going to step the right foot towards the left hand. We're coming into pigeon pose. So left foot forward. Talking rubbish. Whichever foot, doesn't matter. But your foot comes towards the opposite hand and your knee comes towards the hand on the same side. And then take the back knee down to the mat. Release your toes so the top of your foot comes down to the mat. And we're going to stay up for a little while. So stay up here. Still having quite a bit of weight into the hands. And we are going to be asking that right thigh or left thigh, because I definitely got my left and rights very mixed up there. So wherever you are is good. But your front thigh is the one that we're going to be asking to let go and release. Taking a breath there as well. And then let's fold forward. If it's appropriate for you, if you would rather, then you can come further up. We've already stretched out the thigh on the left side and on the right, so that you should have a little bit more range of movement there. And if not, then you can bring your forearms to the mat and fold forward over your bent right leg. No, right or left. Now, it might sound ridiculous to say, try and relax here, but try and relax into this posture. Breathe, and as you breathe in, take your breath to the area where you feel the most tension, where you feel the most resistance, where the muscles are the tightest. And as you breathe out, just be aware that you're completely supported here. You're not going to fall. And it's a very strong posture, so don't be frustrated with yourself. If you notice any feelings of frustration, which actually in this asana, this is the one asana where I do feel those feelings, it's because I don't practice it as much as I used to, and I don't have as much range of movement. So the first thing my head goes to is, oh, I used to be able to do this so much more deeply, so much more movement was there, and now it's not. So I think the thing to acknowledge is our bodies change, and if we really want that range of movement, then we just have to practice. So if you're not practicing, you won't have it. Simple as that. And then hands back to the mat. And that's precisely why I don't have it, because I don't do this asana very much. And tucking your toes back under, lifting that back leg. So back knee is off the floor. Weight is into your hands again. And then we're going to release. Take your feet back, come into plank again. Now I want you to stay in plank if you can, just for a moment. Close your eyes, notice the difference in sensation between your legs. Does one leg feel warmer than the other? And then let's come on to pigeon on the other side. So swap sides. Back leg comes down to the mat. Release that foot. Stay up for a moment. And I should have said this before and I didn't, so I apologize. But if you need to put a pillow or something under your thigh or your front leg, go ahead and do that. We're attempting to bring that thigh down to the mat or to being supported. So even if there's a pillow or a cushion under there, that's good. Otherwise we're slightly hanging, not we? And it's not that relaxing. So we're up. Come up all the way. And then let's fold forward. Forearms to the mat. And bringing yourself gently down. And again, on this side, also doing the same thing. Trying to take your breath to the bits and pieces that are holding on, that are not able to release just yet. Taking a deep breath in and noticing where you are with your breath. Are you counting? Are you breathing in through your nostrils and out through your mouth? Are you taking yourself back to your box breath now and then? Or are you just allowing your breath to come and go freely and easily? There's no right answer, there's no wrong. Just noticing where you are and what you're choosing or not choosing to do. So try and settle in to the asana. Try and find your peace in this asana. Try and be fully present, noticing all the different sensations. And then let's come up. So taking the hands either side again. pressing down into the palms, taking that back foot and making it active again. And then lifting up, taking your feet together, coming back into plank. And again, we're going to hang here for a moment, noticing that blood flow. Because one thing we do when we come into pigeon is we cut off blood flow to the bent leg somewhat. So then when you release, you get a nice sensation. Bring your legs down to the mat, bring your hips down to the mat, keeping your arms up. You should hopefully be in Bhujangasana now. If this is too intense, bend your elbows and bring yourself lower down to the mat. And from here, we're coming into Balasana. So child pose, bring yourself all the way back. Keep your hands where they are if you can. Heels to your hips, hips to your heels. Bring your head down to the mat. Relax your neck, relax your head. And gently curling your spine, stretching out under the arms. Well done. Pigeon is notoriously difficult. We just don't do those movements in our everyday lives generally. And it's just, we don't use it very much. We don't have that range of motion in quite the same way we might have done when we were little. So well done. And then we're going to come up, looking at your hands again, sending yourself forward, tucking your toes under. Give yourself enough space to come back into plank. Got a lot of plank going on today, haven't we? We haven't had plank for ages. And we're going to come into a side plank here. So if you'd prefer to be in side plank on your forearm, come down into your forearms now. If you'd like to stay up on arms, we're going to lift the left hand off. Bring the left arm up, stack the feet, or have your left foot forward and your right foot back. If you're feeling a little bit wobbly today, there we go. So here we want to be lifting up out of that arm. So imagine somebody's holding your hand and pulling you up. Lift your hips and try and keep your head in line. I tend to lift my hips a bit too much. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself back down to plank. Hold here a moment. And then we're going to come into Vashisthasana on the other side. Stay where you are. Lifting the right arm up and either stacking the legs or having one foot in front of the other. Think about that. Hand on the mat and push down into your fingers as well, not just into the heel of your hand. There we go, lifting up, nice straight arms, bringing your belly in towards your spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that right hand back down to the mat. Well done. Stay here for a moment. Breathe. And then take your knees down to the mat. Bring them under your hips. So in a cat-cow position. Let's stretch the neck a little bit more again, bringing a little bit more movement to that whole very important area. So taking the belly down, lifting the head up, lifting the hips. So Chakrabakasana, cat-cow. Curling under now. So it's the head and the hips that come under, and the mid-back that's going up towards the ceiling. And change, move with your own breath. So go at your breathing pace. So breathing out, come into cat, and in to come into cow. The cow is belly down, cat is back up. And you might want to go quite fast. You might want to speed this one up. Raise your energy a little more with movement. 3 more. Or you might be happy going very slowly. Completely up to you. Try to be guided by what you feel you need this morning. Well done. Sitting back, taking your big toes together, taking your knees out to the sides, bring yourself into balasana and bring your body between your thighs. So stretching your arms right as forward as you can, reaching forwards, sort of grabbing the mat and walking the fingertips forward. So we're opening up under the arms. Very important to get some stretch and movement there. And allowing your head and neck to come to rest on your mat. Or your neck won't rest on your mat, but allow your neck to be at rest because your forehead is resting on your mat. Think about that space under your arms. Think about pushing down towards the mat. Think about widening across your shoulders. And we're going to come up to sitting. So gently dragging your hands across, bringing yourself all the way up to sitting. So let's swing the legs around. I'm going to turn around because I like facing this way, facing the light. So come into Paschimottanasana, or actually Dandasana. So Dandasana is staff pose, toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, trying to get some nice connection between the backs of your legs and the mat, feeling your sit bones dropping down into the mat, being completely supported and sitting up tall. And inhaling the arms up, out towards the sides, and exhaling, folding forward. So same position really as we were in when we were standing. Just gravity helping us in different ways. So lifting with each breath, straightening the spine, and with each out breath, seeing if we can fold a little further. Get a little closer, get a little bit more connection between your torso and your thighs. The hands can be on your feet, on your calves, on the floor, wherever works for you. So always thinking about bringing the chest forward, not curling around, not straining the lower back. So the last thing to come down and forward is the head and neck. Try and imagine that your breath is a wave. So as you breathe in, you're coming away. As you breathe out, you're coming forward. And it's a lovely circular, gentle, never-ending movement. You're going one way and then straight into the other. And depending on the time of day, you have more or less range of movement. Noticing how that is for you. And that's it. Just noticing. Sitting up, back up to being tall again. And then we're going to keep the left leg where it is and bring the right leg over. So right foot comes over the outside edge of the left knee. I think I got that right, yes. Holding on with your right hand on your right leg. We're just going to open up. So we're opening up the chest, opening out to the side, and then popping that hand down wherever it will go. Using the right hand to twist and open, and the left. So both arms are working. Bring your gaze over. So bring your chin over to your shoulder. And looking around as well. So don't forget about working out all those muscles around the eyeballs. Just giving them a good stretch. Look around as far as you can. Still keeping that lengthened spine, crown of the head lifting up towards the ceiling. And then release your gaze. Give yourself a little bit of a blink there, and then release your arms. Come all the way back to center. Let's swap sides, and let's take the right leg out. Bring the left leg, just tucking gently on the outside edge of your right knee. So up tall, sit bones on the floor, and right arm comes out, twisting out to the sides. And don't forget to bring your gaze into it as well. So eyes working. And if you smile, that brings increased blood flow to your cheeks and your face, which is always good too. So really twisting around a little bit further. Do you have any more space there? Any more give? And release. Coming back to center now. So gaze, head, shoulders, and we'll do a twist, a supine twist as well. We'll do a twist in a moment. So let's come down to the mat, but let's go via boat. That's always a nice way to get down to the mat. So find your balance point where you're not going to fall over or roll over. And lifting the feet, lifting the legs, spitting. Keeping your hands either side or holding on. If you feel like you want to, hold on to your thighs. Otherwise, you can just gently touch, or you can be hands-free. Straight spine if you can. So sending that sternum forward. Breathe. And remind yourself of your sankalpa, your intention for your practice for today. How did that go? And then we're going to come down to the mat. So however you wish, if you want to roll down, roll down. If you want to go down to the mat, just extending out from your Navasana, go ahead and do that. So bring your knees up towards your hips, press down, and let's come up into a bridge. So think about the soles of your feet, pressing them down, press your toes down into the mat, press your heels down into the mat, press the outer edge of your feet, the whole of the sole of your foot, pressing down as hard as you can into the mat. And squeeze your glutes, lift your hips, roll your shoulders under if you need to or would like to. And lift. So press down into the whole of your hand as well, on the left and the right. Feel your arm on the mat, pressing down into the backs of your arms as well. Breathe. And release. So down to the mat very slowly if you can. That's lovely. When you get back down to the mat, bending your knees, bringing them into your chest, giving them a hug, and then rock from side to side. One more stretch. Let's do one more twist here. So taking the arms out. Today, let's cross the legs. So cross your left over your right, and then take them over to the right side. If that's too intense, just uncross them and bring the knees over to the right. any way that works for you. And then your head comes over to the opposite side. And enjoy that stretch. Such a gorgeous stretch. And we're warmed up for it because we did a little seated stretch. And then bring your head back to center. Bring your knees back to center. And let's uncross and recross. So right leg over left. And then all the way over. And your head in the opposite direction. And back to center. Legs back to center. Bring your knees into your chest. One more hug. Bring your head up towards your knees. Bit of a squeeze. And then into Shavasana. Bring your arms out. Palms facing upwards. Legs a little away from each other. Stretch them out. So take your heels as far away from you as you can. Close your eyes. And take a few deep breaths. So keep your eyes closed. Keep your face relaxed. Think about stretching your legs out so they are as long as they possibly can be. And think about stretching your hands away from your body as well. So lots of length in the body, lots of space. And breathing deeply right down into your belly. So a deep breath, but also a relaxed breath, not forcing. And trying to lengthen the out breath. A little longer with each breath. As you breathe in, noticing what that feels like. And as you breathe in, just making sure it's a little bit longer. Trying to make the breath in and out as smooth as possible. Breathing in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. And relax your feet. Relax your ankles. Relax your calves. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs. Relax your hips and relax your belly. Relax your chest and relax your hands. Relax your fingers and your palms and the backs of your hands. Relax your wrists and relax your forearms. Relax your elbows and relax your upper arms. Relax your shoulders and relax your neck. Relax your throat and relax your face. Relax the whole of the back of your head and the top of your head and your ears. And feel that your whole body is at rest. As you breathe in light and warmth and energy and everything that you need more of in your life. And as you breathe out, with each breath, just allowing yourself to let go of anything that no longer serves you, that you no longer need. And keeping your eyes closed in that space, gently bringing yourself to rest on your right side. So just rolling over when you're ready. And taking a few breaths here. And then gently bringing yourself up to sitting. Sitting comfortably, crown of the head lifting up towards the ceiling. Hands in your lap or on your knees. And gently drop your chin to your chest. Take a deep breath in and out. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra or Namaste Mudra. And press your right hand into your left and your left into your right. Make your shoulders and your arms feel like they're pushing. The muscles are engaged and they're all awake. And then out and in breath. Gently open your eyes, gazing at your fingertips. Deep breath out and in. Bring your head back up. And namaste. Thank you very much for joining me, for joining yourself on the mat. Hopefully joining yourself all together, mind, body, and soul, for a fantastic day and a lovely week. And yeah, I hope it's a good one. Whatever you decide you're doing. And then I need to turn off record. I can't remember how to do that. There we go. Yes.